Hi, let's talk about how you can save $10,000 in 12 months. I know, don't start with I can't do it. Remove that from your vocabulary. Whatever we put our minds to, we can do it. So, first, you have to have a why. Are you saving towards purchasing a car or down payment for a home? Or to make a big ticket purchase for vacation? You have to figure out, one, why do you want to save $10,000? Your reason. Because your reason is what will drive you to make it happen. Yes, if you look at saving 10,000 as a big lump sum, it seems unachievable. But if you break it down into smaller chunks, as in break it down into weekly or break it down into bi-weekly, depending on how you are paid, it makes it a little bit easier to handle. So the key you should ask yourself is, rather than say I can't save 10,000, say what can I do to save this 10,000? I'll give you 5 tips. One, we talked about knowing your reason for saving. If you know your reason, it will push you more to making it happen. So, and write it down. I see that for me, I have noted that when I write things down and I look at it really daily or weekly, it's always before me, so that when I'm making decisions and choices, I'm intentional in the decisions and choices I make. So you know what you're saving for. You have it down before you. Number two, you've got to look at your income and expenses. I know some people say they make 50,000, they can live off of 50,000. There are people making 200, 300,000, they are also living paycheck to paycheck. What's the difference? Is how well you manage. You are looking at what you're bringing in, you are looking at what you're spending. Some people don't look at what they're bringing in. They just spend, 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 spend. And especially if you have a credit card, you're just swiping. As opposed to if you decide you're going to be cash based only, you become more mindful, because when your cash runs out, you have no more money to spend. So you look at your income and you look at what you're spending. You can go back and look at your maybe 2-3 months of your past statements and see where your money is going, and see, are there things you can cut out. Like for me right now, thinking there are two subscriptions I have that I can cut out and be saving $60 monthly. Yes, so you also go look at your subscriptions, things that are not even in your mind, that you haven't even thought of. So when you start looking at your statements, you start seeing things, you may need to cut. And also expenses. One thing I was looking this up, and there's something called Parkinson's law. In other words, if you tell yourself you have 3 weeks to do a certain job, you will take those 3 weeks to do that job. But if you tell yourself the same job, you have 48 hours to do it, you will complete that same task in 48 hours. So, income. If you tell yourself you can live with just 70% of what you are making, you can do that. You just haven't told yourself that yet. And you will find ways to live within just 70% and be able to put away 30%. So look at your income and also look at expenses. I was just thinking about it yesterday. I heard somebody say this, and I use that as a rule, that if you're going to hire somebody to do something you can do, let's say cleaning, for example, you're going to hire somebody to clean, and they're going to maybe clean your house in 4 hours for $150. That is $37.50 an hour. So let's say you make $25 an hour. So to get that $150 to pay the person that will clean for you, you need to work 6 hours to make $150. And the person cleaning for you will work 4 hours and make $150. A time will come when you can pay that. But for now, if you have to work more to pay somebody something you can do, I think you should do it and just save your money. Pending the time you get to a place where you can pay that. And you can get to that place, but it's the choices and decisions you make. Number 3 is create a budget. Some people don't like budget. They don't like budgeting. They don't like anything to do with budget. And they seem to associate budgeting with, like living sort of no money, struggling. A budget will help you manage your finances. A budget will tell every dollar what the dollar is supposed to do. As opposed to not having a budget and you just spend, and you're spending more than you are earning. That's a problem. So it's good to create a budget. And when you create a budget, the first thing you put down is paying yourself first. So let's say you want to save $10,000 in 12 months. When you break it down weekly, you will need to save $193 weekly. Okay, so you may at this point think $193, I don't have $193. Okay, so what do you have? Start with what you have. But maybe try 193, and maybe if you can't, maybe lower it. But don't just say you can't. Try. So you break it down to $193 a month. And when you create your budget, put $193 a week as the first item in your budget. So you take that money out, and then you now create whatever else you have to pay. Create your budget with what you have left. That's that tip. Now again, tip number 4. If you've looked through your budget, you've looked at your income, you're not making enough, you will need to start something. It could be working overtime. That's the easiest one, working overtime on your job, or finding a side hustle, or, doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, those things. But remember, you are giving time for money. So if you give 4 hours, you work 4 hours, the money you are making will just be for 4 hours. So you are exchanging your time for pay. However, you can go a step further and look at your skills. Look at something, you could start a business. Yes, sometimes, many times, you don't get your return immediately. But as long as you keep working your business, your side hustle, whatever it may be, eventually it will pay off. But you've got to stick with it. You can't just start, and if you don't make the money in like a month or two, you stop. No. If you stop, how would you know what you would make? So you just stay at it and continue working it, and you will eventually see results, So start something to make money. And number 5, you must automate your savings. Out of sight, out of mind. So depending on your job, and I think most jobs, you are able to do this, you open a high yield savings account. So I have a savings account now, one that is 0.1%. Really, what is 0.1%? But you can open a high yield savings account. There are so many out there. I know right now Robinhood has a high yield savings for 4.75%. Although you pay $5 a month, which, I don't think you should pay $5. But again, you have to check and compare. Charles Schwab also has one, and I think the last I saw was 4.5%. There's an American Express I have right now, which I would eventually move. It started out with 4.25%. It came down to 4%. Now it's 3.90%. Quote unquote is based on the interest rate. So look for a high yield savings account. that you can put your money in. And then when you put it with your company, your organization, where a certain amount or percentage goes to your high yield savings account. It's out of sight, out of mind. You're just saving. And then the rest goes to your regular checking or whatever accounts you have to pay your bills. I think everybody should have at least 4 accounts, but that's just me. So pay yourself first. So once it's removed, you live with whatever you have left. It is doable to save $10,000. I've done it, and if I can do it, oh God, you can definitely do it. But again, it's discipline. Challenge yourself. So let's go on this challenge together, and in this upcoming year, make a decision. You are going to save $10,000. And then we'll check in with each other. So let me know in the comment section what you are saving for. If you like what you've heard, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.